imagine how time flies. But no worry about that. So let's enjoy this day. Okay, let's start. Julia, the stage is yours.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoy the activities we did yesterday. My name is Julia and I'm going to
Julia.
present another good day of this nice Italian experience. And I'm here to present the whole year. In the morning we will work on the importance of empathy, solve the conflict, understanding what emotion is a paramount in it to manage the situation. Mrs. Proietto will talk about the importance of emotional intelligence as a set of competencies and skills which are the basic of good relationship between humans and beings. Then we will practice it with some situation. At 11:50 we will go to our public school, lunch. At 2 o'clock we leave to go to the San Pellegrino factory, where we will have a guided visit in English. Finally, at 8 p.m. we will have your dinner at the public school.
Okay, thank you, Julia. So very full day also today. Are you tired?
No.
Good. Did you see the sun? I booked for you.
Thank you.
Okay. So, well, what can you see in this picture? Okay, food. And the picture is an allegory of life, of course, because each time we have to choose, we are on a path, and we have to choose if we have to go on the right, on the left. We have to choose to go ahead, but choice is a key word of our life. And I want to do a premise before this lecture. The things you are going to listen today are quite delicate because they relate to your personal life, and maybe they will mark also your future choices. This is what happened to me, okay? So I'm just telling about my personal experience. I don't want to come round to your opinions. I don't want to change your opinions. My desire, I wish only you to reflect about something altogether. And then, of course, you will create your personal opinions, your personal idea. So I don't want to talk wrong to you. I'm only you to be aware that we have a lot of possibilities in our life to make things happen in the way we want they happen. Is that interesting, according to your opinion? So we become, good morning, we become the actors of our life. We make things happen in the way we want they happen. Okay, this will be the core of this lecture. I'll try to do my best, of course, I hope. Sometimes when we have to do a choice, a personal choice about attitude, maybe we are not on top of the situations, or maybe we feel not to be on top of the situations. So it's more difficult to choose. But the most difficult thing is to choose between proactivity and reactivity. We are thinking about social and emotional intelligence. SEL is the acronym. Well, this is my premise. Now, according to you, you know me after 3 days. According to you, what will be the next step? What will I do?
Exercise.
Questions. Because I like questions. Because if you reply to me, I can understand better about you. I mean, I have planned a lecture, but I prefer to know before what you know about. So, the first question is, do you know the adjective proactive? Do you know the adjective proactive?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I wish to know your opinions. Yes or no? The answer is or yes or no?
Yes.
No. How many yes? Okay. I dare to say that all the others are no. Okay. Do you know the adjective reactive?
Yes.
Yes. How many yes? Okay. So the others are no. Do you usually use these adjectives in your life? Yes. Okay. Do you usually use these adjectives? No. Okay. For those who replies me yes, in those occasions, in what occasions do you use it?
Depending. If I am proactive, I have initiative, I have the spirit of entrepreneurship, I like to do something, do things. So if I reactive, I'm reactive when I disagree, when I don't like something, and I want to use my voice because it's important to pay attention. Depending. I think both are also good, not opposite.
Okay, this is quite interesting. Our Virginia says that both are good. Okay, it depends on the situations.
Yes.
Okay. Quite interesting. Thanks for your contribution. Any other who wants to tell me about the occasions? When do you use or reactive or proactive? Who said? Gabriela, you said proactive. Okay, in what occasion? Can you remember? Can you share with us?
I mean, I just don't know the situation about the women's rights, perhaps. So I'm proactive in this situation. So I'm using this adjective in that situation. Or I'm playing theater, so I need to be proactive there too, I guess.
Okay, so theater
Theater.
and human rights.
Yes.
So proactivity when you defend, okay, human rights. Okay, something about reactivity. When do you use this adjective, reactive?
When the rights of people are not respected, for example, it's also a good occasion for, in case of corruptions or another kind of
Okay.
injustice, for social justice, for example. It's important to be reactive sometimes.
Okay, good. Thanks a lot. Other question, do you know the difference between proactive and reactive? Gabriela?
Proactive is like making changes before it happens, and reactive is after it happens. You take responsibility for that.
Very good.
In both situations, when we are proactive or reactive, we can be aware of what happens or not.
Okay,
Because
awareness, good.
even I am proactive and I am so good in what I do, I need after to reflect, to take time to reflect about my actions. But it's good to act, it's good to have this spirit of initiative. And depending also of the age of the person.
Okay, it depends, it is interesting, depends on the age of the person.
Depending on their experience, depending on their skills, and sometimes we are more able to do things and we are not aware about it. And we discover by actions we are good, we know how to do it, and the other appreciate us, and our image of ourselves change because we can integrate with the feedback, for example.
Of course, yeah. We come across some situations we don't know, so we discover in that moment, in that occasion, what is happening, and so we decide to be proactive or reactive. Okay. Well, now I show you something. Is this a proactive situation or a reactive situation?
More reactive.
How many reactive situations? How many reactive situations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
For one of the sides, not for the other.
Okay. Because we usually think about that one person who does something, it means reacts because there is a reaction. But today we will discover something completely new, a brand new thing about this adjective reactive, which is not linked to I react, but it links to something anticipated by Gabriela. Okay? So if we want to talk about communication, okay, what can you see in this picture? So if we have to add a comics, for example, okay, what am I saying in this image? No.
Maybe an accusation to accuse.
You listen to me. And what is she saying?
I don't care.
I don't care. I don't listen to you. This is a closure attitude. Okay? I don't want. Is there a communication here? No, there is no communication. Because if someone doesn't want to listen to me, there is no communication. I want her to listen to me, but she doesn't want. So there isn't any basis for the communication. Okay?
It's another way to communicate, like non-verbal.
It's a conflict. This is conflict, of course. Okay? I show you another picture. Oh, sorry. Unfortunately, Virginia, we have only the back, okay, of Virginia. But is this a proactive situation or reactive situation? Proactive situation. Okay? Look also the body language. What's happened? If we have to add a comics, Virginia yesterday said, what's happened? Why, Francesca, are you blaming on me? Questions, open questions. So the communication here is going to be opened, not closure attitude. Okay. Well, proactivity is a term I didn't invent, I didn't make up, unfortunately, but someone else did in 1989, and this person was an American educator, an author, and also a businessman. The name is Stephen Covey, and he wrote a masterpiece, and the title is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Highly effective people are those who open communication, who want an open communication, and those who are proactive. It means they act before something happens, as Gabriela said. I want to introduce one of my best friends, Stephen Covey. And this is his book, 7 Habits. And the first habit is be proactive. If I have to explain you in layman's terms what is a proactivity, we can split the word in proactivity. Pro is a prefix coming from Latin, and it means ante, before, okay? Activity is the action. I can do something before something happens. This is the reason why at the beginning I told you I don't want to talk around to you, but I wish you to reflect that we have possibilities in our life to transform, to make things happen in the way we want they happen. So we have the possibility to be actors of our life, being proactive. It's easy? Yes or no? Yes. It's easy to do. The others? The others, it's easy? No. Yes? How many yes? How many yes? Okay. No, it's not easy. This is the most difficult thing to do in our life. The most difficult, do you know why? Ragazzi, basta. Sto, veramente ho bisogno di concentrazione. Scusate. Because it takes time. I started 5 years ago. And I'm almost 43 years old. I started only in the moment when I discovered that there was the ingredient to change things. And this was fantastic. I didn't have the outcome the day after. No, it's impossible to have the result, the outcome the day after. But it's a training. Do you remember Mr. Acetti yesterday? It's like a footballer. A lot of training every day, in every occasion in your life, with people especially. So this is the most difficult things to do because being proactive takes time. Why time? Time to take decision, time to choose, time to reflect, time to think about myself, time to cultivate new thoughts, new way of thinking, time to understand if it's possible to be more open-minded. There is a work behind proactivity, unbelievable, a very big work that has to start from us, okay? I am the actor. And the key words of this process is responsibility and questions. The term questions is powerful because making questions is the most important ingredient to establish good relations. Think about the pictures. Closure attitude, you listen to me. No, I don't want to. What is the problem? I don't want to listen to you. What's happened? So at the basis of a good communication, there are questions, because only the power of questions, only with the power of questions we can have a good relationship, a positive relationship, at least when people listen each other, when people exchange opinions. I want to read together with you why I talk about the power of questions. Questions are essential for people, for their life, especially if people work with people, if people manage people. Questions is the key word for those who study leadership. Everybody can be a leader. We teachers are leaders, of course, because we lead a group, an activity. We handle people problems, teenagers' problems. Leader means the person who leads a group. This is a situation you will find during your life, of course, because you are growing up, so you will come across the situations, of course. Questions help people to plan instead of taking decisions without thinking. We say improvise. I do an example. When I prepared this work for you, I try to put in your shoes and I say, okay, so questions. What do these teenagers want to know from me? What is the added value I can do? I can give. What can I do for them? Okay, I had some replies, but the most important replies were the questions in the second slide. I had to know if you were aware about proactivity, reactivity. More or less, now I have an idea. So I think that I planned something that is interesting for you, because there were a lot of different opinions about. So it's better to clear up. Questions don't create any randomness, because if I ask something, I have a reply. Okay? So it's not something I think. No, I have a reply. So if someone stops and wonders or asks for questions, it means that he's got the time to think about and then to find the solutions. Together with you, alone, but I stop and I think about. So questions about me, I wonder something, or questions with people, I ask for something. Questions allow people to open communication. Questions allow people to build a bridge by listening, by understanding, by going deeply without being superficial. Because sometimes this is the problem of bad communication, especially during your age. When we talk about bullying, okay, sometimes it's just because there isn't the basis of communication, and this means that we think superficially. We don't stop, we don't teach to our students how to stop and to create a bridge. This is very important also for us, teachers. Questions allow people to understand the other's needs. Today I questioned you and I say, okay, what are your needs? What do you know about this topic? Think about a doctor. When you are ill and you call the doctor, what does the doctor say? The doctor says, what happened? Can you tell me, how can I help you? He makes questions. It's a very easy example. This is what happens in our life when we call the doctor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Questions. Only if we give a reply, we can have now the recipe to, of course, to be well again. Well, questions belong to proactive people. This is interesting. And proactivity is a trait of human beings which leads the performance. Because if we think in a proactive way, we act in a proactive way, and the outcome will be proactive. So everything starts from what we think. This is the reason why it's not easy. Because if we don't change our mindset, we cannot have proactive results. It's just a process that starts from our mind, and that there will be the results. We will collect the results, but the most difficult thing to do in our life is starting from us. So, the difference, the real difference finally, between reactivity and proactivity is this. Reactivity will react to previous events instead of attempting, of trying to anticipate future ones. It means we react after, post, later. And sometimes it's too late. When we are reactive people, we think about too late things, and we don't have the means to recover. Proactivity, we choose to act before something happens. Responsibly, strategically, before the situation becomes dangerous. So here we have the time to stop, to think about, to communicate, to decide, and then to act. After weighing all the alternatives, all the situations, and this is the news, the brand news. Only if we understand the power of proactivity, we will manage the situation, okay? And we will not adjust to situations that occur. We will manage the situation. Stephen Covey say, look at the word responsibility. Responsibility, if we split it, is a response ability. It means the ability to choose your response, to stop and to choose your response. Highly proactive people recognize that responsibility. They don't blame on circumstances. They don't blame, they say, oh my God, it's like this, I cannot do anything. I mean, what can I do? No. This means you are not the actor of your life. When there is a conflict, for example, at your age, and I say, she's like this, what can I do? No, you can stop. And you can open the communication. You can solve the conflicts because you are emotionally intelligent, and we will talk about. So you have the means, the tools, okay, to open communication, to solve the conflict. You cannot blame on the others. The others will never move towards you if you don't do it for the first time. Remember, nobody will move towards you. You have to move the first step. So they don't blame, they act in advance. And this is strategy. I talked about emotional intelligence. People who are emotionally intelligent use these questions. What can I do to help you? To help him, to help them, doesn't matter. But what can I do for you? Open question to me. Why do you get this conclusion? Yesterday, Mrs. Virginia, in our role play, what happened, Francesca? Why do you think so? So tell me, let's talk about. Why did you get this conclusion? An open question to the other, so it means she gave the possibility to the other person to explain, and she was in a listening attitude. This is what should be normally for you at your age. But you have to train the students. It's not easy. It's difficult also for the adults to do something like this. Okay. Could you share your opinion with me? Open question to the others. Why didn't I get the result I wished? Open question to me. Why? What happened? What was the wrong? In what moment I got wrong? In order to understand and in order not to copy again a mistake. And the most important, what did I learn from this bad, good experience? Because each time you live an experience, you learn something, even if it's bad. Remember, all bad, both bad and good experience teach you something important. You will remember during your life, and from there will be a starting point on which you will focus, on which you will improve. When there is a conflict, during a normal day, okay, daily routine, and then you solve the conflict, okay, you lived a bad situation, maybe you felt sad, but you have learned something, because maybe someone has got the possibility to say, I got wrong, I apologize for that, I didn't want. So you learn to say, I apologize. You learn to listen, you train, that was training. Each occasion in your life is a training to become proactive people. And only proactivity helps you to solve the conflicts, especially the conflicts, or to work better with people. Doesn't exist perfection, we know. But we can create a situation where we can live with serenity, where we can enjoy those moments, even if they could be difficult. Difficulties belong to life, students. Difficulties belong to life. It doesn't exist life without problems or issues. But from that experience, even if it's bad, we learn and we improve our social skills. Social skills. You mentioned social skills on Monday in the morning, I wrote it in the board. Okay, this means training for development of social skills. If you use questions, you develop a high strategic thinking. You will be highly effective people. Only if you use questions. This means, as I said before, everything depends on me, of course. I use the colors here, green and red. Green states a positive thing, red, negative things, but let's think about. I'm the actor who generates success and goals, not the others. I'm the actor. If something is good, I have to be proud. Because I worked hard. I did a lot. I did my best to get that goal, so I deserve my success. And I have to be aware, because this develops your self-esteem. So, when you do something, a positive thing, and you get a good result, be aware, stop and celebrate that moment. Because it's yours. I'm the actor who generates problems because I can get wrong. And I have to be aware. It's not others' fault. I cannot blame on the others if the mistake was mine. I cannot. Otherwise, I don't develop any social skills if I'm not aware about what happened. I have to understand what was the wrong in order I don't repeat it anymore. Otherwise, I remain on the same level. I don't go ahead. I know I have an ingredient, which is question, the power of questions. And so I'm able to solve the problems, making questions, which helps me to understand and to start again to find solutions. Start again. Do you remember yesterday with Mr. Aceti? So be brave and start again each time, because it can happen. This means I'm alive. I'm the actor. This means I don't wait for the others. I told before that the others don't move towards you. Never. If you wait for the others, believe me, nobody will move towards you. Nobody. Because, of course, people are selfish. So they think about themselves. I'm okay, I'm perfect, it's not my fault, it's your fault. If you don't listen, you others. And me? What about me? Why don't I start from me? Then, the others, for a mirror effect, will move to me. And then I stop and I say, what happened? A miracle. No, it's not a miracle. This is life. If I do something, I will have the same reaction. But I have to move firstly. It's difficult, students. I have to ask you something very difficult. I told you, I started 5 years ago. So if I want to forward something like this, it's just because I love you. It's just because I feel that you need to know these things before the moment I came across these news, these brand new things, this teaching, this is a live teaching. I didn't invent, of course, there are a lot of educators who studied these things during the 20th century. There is a literature which is fantastic, and I recommend you to read something about. This is sociology. I didn't invent, but I discovered. And this was fantastic for me. My life changed. Now you ask me, did you realize your dreams? Well, I don't think I realized my dreams, but I discovered how to do it. So I'm working on it. Something arrived, and I'm happy for that. I worked hard, something happened. But every day I spend my life and I see that something moves around me. But I'm the actor. I'm moving the others. I'm the engine. Believe me. Questions belong to emotionally intelligent people. I didn't invent this thing, of course. Daniel Goleman was my forerunner. No, I'm just joking, he was not my forerunner, but he invented this term and he popularized it in 1995 with his book, a masterpiece, which is Emotional Intelligence, where he talked about emotional intelligence quotient. You know that human beings have an intelligence quotient, okay, which is measured with a level, okay. Each of us has got an intelligent quotient. Then there is an emotional intelligent quotient. Here there is a very interesting adjective, which is emotional. Do you think we are talking about emotions? So it's something that measures our inner world, the third ear of yesterday, the deepest place, okay, of ourselves. And I like to explain emotional intelligence with an image, and I want to show you. According to my opinion, this is my opinion, okay, not Daniel Goleman's opinion. If I have to say, so in layman terms, what is an emotional intelligence? Is this? Is a toolbox. In my mind, I have this image, a toolbox. So inside, I have an interior world, and I have all these tools. If I learn all the tools I have more opportunities to manage the emotions. And if I know how to use these tools better for me, and if I learn how to use these things to help others, fantastic. We are talking about empathy. I can work with people. In fact, do you think to have your toolbox? Do you have this toolbox inside you?
Yes.
Everybody has it. Because emotions belong to human beings. So everybody has got the toolbox. The most important thing is, have you ever taken into the toolbox the manual? Do you know there is a manual? That is important because you can open a toolbox. Okay, there's a hammer, there are nails, there are lots of things. Oh my God, how can I use them? I don't know. I don't know how can I use them? This is interesting. In the manual, you will find the 4 steps to manage your tools. On the first page, so think about a manual, okay? In the first page, you find the list of the tools, emotions. Fear, anger, then there is the primary emotions, and also the others emotions. So, satisfaction, unsatisfaction. Per piacere ragazzi, faccio fatica. Grazie. Then we have the serenity, the anger. Then there are different, of course, nuances of anger. We have a lot of emotions. So you find all the list. This means you can use all the tools. All emotions are important. There isn't any emotion more important than the others. No. All the emotions are important. And it's important to be aware, self-awareness. You have to know. Because if you know the list of emotions, and if you turn the page of your book, of this manual, you find on the second page how to use them. What does it mean? It means that you control your emotions. If you have a hammer and a nail, you know that you can use them. In this situation, in some situations of your life, of course. This means you can adapt your emotions to situations. This means you orienteer, you make orienteering of your emotions. You know when feeling different or a variety of emotions. This means to have a positive outlook, because sometimes we know we have emotions, but we don't want to recognize because we think they are negative. So we want to be detached from those emotions because they hurt us. Yeah, of course. But if we are aware about them, this means that maybe we can transform a negative emotion in a positive emotion. Only if we read the second page of the manual. Let's turn. We have the third page. Once we know the tools, once we know how to use these tools, if a neighbor knocks on the door and he says, "You're a problem, have you got a toolbox?" Yes, I have, and I can help you. Because I know how to use them in my house and inner house, and also with you. I can help you. So it means I develop empathy with the others. I know mine, and when you explain me a problem, I understand what you are saying because I know. Organizational awareness, it means I can work with people. I'm aware now, and I'm able to listen to the others. And so the fourth page, it means I can influence the others. Wear your heart on your sleeve. If I share my emotions without any problems, it means I know them and I can share with other people, so I can influence people. I can coach people. Another very important task of teachers, the coaching. We can solve the conflict, we can manage, handle the conflict, we can do a teamwork. If we are here, colleagues, it's just because we have worked and we are still working on all these things in order to create a teamwork. And of course, we can inspire leadership. I wish today I can inspire you about this topic, which is fundamental, is a paramount tenet of our life. Leadership. We need leadership also when we are parents. I see every day with my children, and believe me, it's more difficult to deal with them than to deal with you, okay? Of course, because the role of parents is difficult, but I need these kinds of leadership. Not only because of the rules, but because of the communication. The good communication. Because you know that the conflicts, a lot of times, are in family. Well, are you tired? Could you follow me? Okay. Emotional intelligence covers the following. I want to read it together with you. We have almost finished, okay? I consider 45 minutes. I'm quite punctual. Okay, so emotionally intelligent people know which emotions are feeling we are feeling and why. Why? I highlight why. Because if something happens, there is always a reason. Make the links between our emotions and what we think, say, and do. If we start from our inner world, we know then how to say, what to say, how to say, what to do. Because a decision can be also an emotionally intelligent decision. It means that we have considered both the mind and the heart. And we can explain, because the second powerful thing is words. We can speak. So we can explain also the reason why I took a decision. Even if I consider this decision coming from my heart, or maybe from both my heart and my mind. Acknowledge how our feelings impact our performance, because it can happen. For example, I know that my way of teaching is a way of teaching very emotional, because when I teach every day, I use a lot of emotions. I try to forward you my emotions. But I think that this could be a model. Okay, Rogers, as another educator, spoke about the modeling, which is very, very important in the relationship, in a good relationship between students and teachers. And this is quite important, because I don't want to be the model. I want you to steal from me the best things, and then you personalize them, because it's your life, and we are different. You don't have to be as Valeria is. You have to develop your attitude. But if you take the best from all people you have around you, it's fantastic, because then you have the time to stop and to personalize and to develop from there. Understand the value and the goal that are behind our emotions, in order we can mitigate or address them properly. Otherwise, there is confusion. You see the power of emotional intelligence. I do really believe in it. Let's train together. This is nice. Let's read these statements. My classmates never talk to me. When they do it, they are not kind. If only they treated me a bit better, I could be happier. Second statement. You have a lot of time in your life to do many things, many nice things. Unfortunately, I don't. Teachers don't understand me. It's their problem, not mine. My mother never listens to me. She's not used to listening to anyone. Everything is going wrong in my life. I cannot do anything. All things I do are unsuccessful. Everything is a failure. I'm not lucky. I passed the test. Finally, I was lucky, or maybe the test was easy. Oh, that's a miracle. My brother is so stubborn, but finally he followed my advice. Okay, proactive or reactive attitude? Reactive. Who is the object of this statement?
Me.
No, the others. No worry, no worry. It's true. I know the reason why it's all, because there is the subject, I, so I understand. But now if you think about, you realize better. Okay, this is metacognitivity, because you are going behind the meaning. It's not easy. Also, this is a skill. Okay, so I understand. Of course, he stops on I, me. No, but the object, that was the subject. The object is the others. It's always others' fault. My classmates don't speak to me. My mother doesn't listen to me. My teachers don't understand me. The test is easy. So never mind if I worked hard, if I studied a lot. The test was easy, so I passed. It was lucky. You have more time. Okay, here I stop. So, as soon as I listen to teacher, I didn't have time, I get angry. And I try to handle this emotion. Because, you know, Columbus discovered every person has got 24 hours in a day. So the time is equal. Is the same for everybody all over the world. Think about that. If I say I didn't have time, it means that I didn't want. I didn't want to find the time. This is something linked to priority. This is a decision. You decide how to handle your time during your day. Establish priorities. If something happened with your best friend and there is a conflict, okay, and you are sad, don't lose time to blame on yourself or to complain about the best friends you lost. To take a decision and give priority to these things and try to solve this conflict. Stop. That is not lost time. You are gaining time in that moment. And you say, okay, so I stop. This is my priority because after that I feel better and I can go ahead with a lot of other things. Also, this is a decision, an emotional, intelligent decision. Think about that. Sometimes we don't stop to think about it. But we have very easy situations and human situations. So about our life, on which we can train every day, in each instant of our life. So, now if we want, so this was important for time, and I want to share with you also what I say to my students. No time. Time is equal for everybody. So you didn't want, no teacher, it's not true. So, let's talk about it. Can you explain me better? And we open the communication. Okay? Lucky. Yeah, it can happen. But believe me, if you pass a test, maybe you worked hard. Then if the test was a little bit easier, better for you. But I don't think that if you didn't study, you could pass the test. I mean, it's at least the minimum of studying you needed. Let's transform the reactivity into proactivity. I have the perception that my classmates never talk to me. It's only a perception. Tomorrow I try to make the first move. The object is now me. I will do something. I am the actor. You have a lot of time in your life to do many nice things. I want, and I have to find it as well, because I can if I want. Sometimes the communication, do you remember, with the teacher? Teachers don't understand me, let's transform. Sometimes the communication with my teachers is difficult, but it's not impossible. I have to try to talk to them, to listen to their advices, and maybe to ask for more questions. Because maybe there is a problem of misunderstanding. So the teacher thinks about something, you have another opinion. Okay, let's try to meet, to talk, and to understand if there is a compromise. And then we start again. This not means that you are wrong, or that from a hierarchy point of view you are down. No, you are on top because you are moving firstly. And this was what we said yesterday. Sometimes, for mirror effects, also the teachers is aware that maybe something is incorrect in his mind, so we can change. You help people. In this way, you help people, also teachers, also adults. Each person can learn from the others. Remember, there isn't any ages, not because I'm older than you, I stopped learning. No. Every day I learn with you. I have to find a solution to establish a relationship with my mother. There will be a strategy. I will write maybe a letter. This is another kind of communication, the letter. You don't think about, sometimes people explain emotions better by writing. Try to do it. Because after writing, it will be easier for you also to talk. It's another way of expressing your emotions. It's not an easy period. Everything is going wrong in my life. No, it's not an easy period, but it can happen. This is life. I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of energy, self-esteem, and sources to do everything and to change the path if I want. It will be a success. This is fixing a goal. It will be a success. And I will set across a path in order to create the strategy to be a success, to have a success. I passed the test. I studied a lot. I deserve it. Oh, fantastic! My brother finally followed my advice. I think I had been more compelling this time. And maybe he trusted me. Maybe I communicated with him in a different way. And so he believed it was better to follow my advice. Not because he's stubborn. Everybody could be stubborn. But maybe the communication was different. Can you see the difference? So, no excuses. The others are others. We are we. Let's start from us, which is the most important thing, because the very nice thing is that all people are emotionally intelligent. And the good news is that emotional intelligence can be improved every day. A proactive person, by analyzing, by asking questions, by starting from himself or herself, can improve the emotional intelligence. A proactive person can get goals and people needs. I can reach people needs if I listen to them. A proactive person can solve conflicts and problems, can realize dreams. I followed a seminar, a full-day seminar of 3 days, 5 years ago in Bologna. And I want to thank you, my coach, who is Davide Malaguti, he's a coach. And he talked about proactivity and reactivity. And he opened a new world for me, an open window from which I discovered the world. And I decided to follow this path of proactivity. That's why I chose that picture of food, okay? Because at the end, I chose the proactivity. Believe me, I'm working on realizing my dreams, on achieving, of course, my goals, because everything starts from me. So what can I recommend you is to decide to be proactive. Be proactive always.